yesterday and this morning that the cops had shot him. Now they're saying he killed himself. I mean, just, again, total cowardice. Who knows what the truth is? The point is, I have guns. They're like a screwdriver in the drawer, folks. It's not like I'm even obsessed with them. I have them because I'm not a victim. I don't want to be a victim. And if somebody, especially somebody in media, you know, people get stalked, people get attacked. A lot of talk show hosts have been shot in this country, 3 or 4, just the last few decades. They made movies about it. I'm not going to be another victim. I look at most of these media operations, they don't let anybody have concealed carry in the building. They don't let anybody, you know, protect themselves. A killer is going to come with a gun anyways. You might as well have people that have got the guns legally and lawfully to protect yourself. All right, we're going to come back, continue this discussion straight ahead. But bottom line, 42% of those killed were killed by knives in this latest mass killing. By the way, he killed himself, so it's more than half.
This is Scottish John for Infowars.com. I know that most of you here in this commercial already know about the New World Order, eugenics, and all the other issues covered here at Infowars. The question is, do your friends and family know? If not, then I want to know why. Oh, I know it's tough to talk about this with some people. They might call you names, or they just want to talk about sports or soap operas. I say, so what? There's a battle going on out there right now. The ammunition is information, and the soldiers are you. It's time to transform your game from passive listener to active participant. We from Scotland have had our skin in this game for the greater part of the last 1,000 years, and I'm still fighting. If we don't all stand up right now, we're going to lose everything. The Infowar is worldwide. Tell your friends about Infowars and let them know that Infowars doesn't print bull. It's real journalism and news backed up by documented fact. Step up and take your friends and family to Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and PlanetInfowars.com. The truth will set them free.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products, and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Resistance. Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
What is a PSYOP? Well, it's a psychological operation. And the so-called mainstream media, the state-run media, is a shadow of itself. I got some statistics on that just broke coming up in the next segment, but I want to go right back to your calls right now. The PSYOP, though, is to blame gun owners for this. And by the way, I misspoke because I had thought the police had killed this guy because they'd been saying that earlier, that he died when police had confronted him. So I guess like a coward, they confronted him and then he killed himself. So in a way, he did get killed when the police confronted him. So I guess that's true partly. But now they know, and they're saying, I have the article right here, that they think he killed himself. Maybe they just don't want to be sued and they're just saying that. Who knows? Who blames them, the way the lawsuits are nowadays. The point is that now 3 were killed with knives. The sheriff's department's confirmed. The first people he killed in a frat house were people with knives. He killed them with knives, a knife. And then 3 people he killed with a gun, and then the 7th was himself. So 50% of the people killed in the Santa Barbara massacre, as the media is calling it, were killed with knives. Half of them with knives, no discussion of that. I mean, if people weren't armed, folks, you could kill multiple people with a hammer. You going to ban hammers? I know a lot of World War II vets that were in the European theater, and they would sneak up at the checkpoints in the trench warfare that went on in the Battle of the Bulge and stuff, where the lines all crossed over each other, and you'd use a big ball-peen hammer. In fact, they were shipping them in and pretty much issuing them to people, because you would walk up to somebody when they were in a foxhole and kill them with a ball-peen hammer. Because then you'd whack them over the head with a ball-peen hammer or a baseball bat, but ball-peen hammers were better. That's accurate in Inglourious Basterds, where they're using baseball bats to kill people. Because that's what you want to use if you don't want to alert the guys 50 yards away in a machine gun nest. You just club somebody's brains out. I mean, you're never going to stop people that want to kill. And I keep harping on that. I'm sick of being blamed for this stuff. So there's the big media hoax. They're blaming guns. Half the people killed, because we don't count him, were killed with knives, with a knife. That's big. That's big news. Let's go ahead and go to Joseph in Greensboro, North Carolina, then Rob and others. Joseph, you're on the air. Welcome. All right, I'm doing good. I guess you're not there, Joseph.
I'm used to be a reporter for a daily newspaper, so I've got some interest in this. And you have people, you have reporters and resources. Why don't you take up and do some actual reporting on this that the news media won't do? For instance, find out who this kid was. Find out if the kid in the video was actually the kid who was killed. Find out if the car he was in was actually his car. I watched the video, and the video sounds to me like bad acting. That they've hired another Hollywood person, like they did at Sandy Hook, who is basically giving bad acting. Now, for instance, he says, "I'm a virgin." Now, what 22-year-old, no matter how mentally ill he is, do you know who would put on tape to the whole world, "Hey, look at me, I'm a virgin"? And how does somebody get through college these days without getting laid? It's just incredible.
I hear you.
Secondly, the person who supposedly is his father, I find that very suspicious also, because I can't imagine.
Well, look. Hold on a minute. You're making great points, Joseph, but let me just be clear here for a moment. We only have 6 reporters. 2 of them already live in England. I'm sending a reporter and a camera guy to Bilderberg this next week to cover that. Then we have the nightly news reporters. We don't have the staff. We probably have 1 reporter. We could send Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs out there, and I was already thinking about it, but this just happened yesterday. Even national radio hosts don't work on Sundays. I do. So I'm not minding ideas, but we're working as hard as we can around here, believe me. We've got a skeleton crew. A lot of folks were on vacation for Memorial Day. But I hear you. This thing stinks, and Sandy Hook was staged. We've had state police investigators, others on. They had blue screens. It's fake. We don't know what happened. We just know the official story isn't true. We're going to get Wolfgang Halbig and others back on this week breaking this down. But I hear you. What about citizen journalists? You know, folks, you go out there and do it, because I can't get it all done. But great points. I appreciate your call. Got to move quick now. Ronnie in Texas, then Bill and others. Go ahead. You're on the air, Bill.
Hey, Alex, Bill in Florida. How you doing?
Good. Go ahead. Then we'll go to Ronnie. Go ahead.
Hey, I was watching the news clip today, and they interviewed one of the people who was an eyewitness, and the gentleman's name was actually my plebe roommate at the Naval Academy, same name. I called him up, and I said I couldn't believe it, and the individual said that he thought that he saw 2 people in the BMW, and that seems extremely odd. Now, I did go to the academy, the Naval Academy. I was a Navy diver. I went through extensive training, judo, hand-to-hand combat, and that guy, without being too derogatory, looked extremely metrosexual. I can't fathom him sticking a knife into somebody and killing them. You have to go through weeks and weeks.
Well, I was about to say, I'm no military guy, but I grew up, saw a lot of rough stuff in Dallas. It takes a lot to really stab somebody. I mean, I had somebody stab me once, and they tried, and it barely even went into my thigh. And the guy stabbed me pretty hard. Muscle's tough. I agree with you. It takes a lot of training to butcher somebody properly. Look, none of it makes sense. But you're saying you called your buddy and who you saw on the news as a witness, and he said he thought he saw 2 people in the car?
No, it was the same name as my buddy. It was the same name.
Okay, I misunderstood.
The same name, but I just couldn't believe the coincidence with the Hunger Games. And to kill somebody silently, if you got 3 people who were living as roommates, that's bull. That guy didn't.
Well, I was about to say, even wimps will fight for their life. I mean, I find it hard to believe that he killed 3 guys with a knife.
What did he do? Hit them all in the jugular when they were asleep? It doesn't make sense.
It takes a lot of will to kill somebody with a knife. That's what I agree with you. Well, what do you think then? A psyop? What do you think this is?
He didn't look strong enough to beat his meat.
I hear you. I appreciate your call. Wow, good points. Let's go to Ronnie in Texas real quick. Ronnie, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, the psycho, seemingly shameless, sociopathic stabbing butcher man. We need to stick on that point. It's not a gunman. He's a stabbing butcher man. Like you're saying, it's so graphic, and the violence involved to kill somebody with a knife, it's just really very intense. And
the only way it's easy is with an ice pick, but you don't die right away. You got to stab somebody like 5 or 6 times to make sure you get them. I mean, other than an ice pick, I don't know how he would do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's obviously been programmed, clearly manipulated, just like Syrian, and and obviously, I think, financed by the same cabal of criminals, these enemies of our nation's liberty. I'm sorry to say they're numerous and sadly effective.
No, I hear you, Ronnie. Thanks for calling. Jerry, Peter, Sherry, Patricia, Chris, Dennis, everybody, your calls are coming up. Toll-free number to join us, 877-789-2539, 877-789-2539. Bottom line, I'm not taking the blame for this as a gun owner. My guns make people safe. And knife owners shouldn't take the blame either. And baseball bat owners shouldn't take the blame. The criminal takes the blame.
I don't know what it is. Ralph just won't pay any attention to me. When he comes home from work, all he ever does is play video games and go to sleep. It's like I don't even exist.
Oh, Betty, that's just awful.
Does this seem familiar? If the answer to this question is yes, then listen carefully. Toxic pesticides, GMO foods and additives, BPA plastics, contaminated water supplies. Many of these toxic additives are deliberately engineered to attack and weaken human masculinity. It's part of the eugenics population control movement. Look it up. If men are more interested in online gaming than they are in their wives, a serious population crisis is soon to follow. Energize the man in your life with Super Male Vitality from InfoWarsLife.com. It's designed to aid the body in ways that help invigorate your natural systems without artificial testosterone, completely free of GMOs, harmful additives, gluten, and is made right here in the USA. Get your Super Male Vitality right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253